Hey, everybody, welcome back to Firm and Final. A quick 5 minutes with what's going on in the stop loss industry. And it's mid November, which means it's time to firm those stop loss cases. Remember, the name of the podcast series is Firm and Final. And this is the time that carriers are going through the firming process and looking to bind and close business. Now, what does that mean? That means after you put out the initial rates to the broker, they compared you to the market. They're coming back to you and saying, your rates look great, but I need you to firm this quote. And that's the time that the underwriter and the clinician are getting together, putting their heads together and saying, here's the individuals that were high dollar spend in the current year. We want to find out some more information about these people so that we understand, are we going to be walking into liability next year? Or can we basically absorb that risk? Or when the employer has another deductible, they can absorb that risk. They're basically trying to find out if they're walking into known risk for the new policy year. So you go back to the broker and you say, I have some additional questions on person A, B, and C. And they're coming back right now and saying, this is a fully insured group. I don't have that information. You're going to have to do the best you can do. So what do you do in that situation? I can tell you for us, we focus on higher deductibles. About $300,000 to $400,000 is our average stop loss deductible. And at that level, the claims that could hit in that level, they could be pretty catastrophic. And so we really need to make sure that we feel good about the risk that we're writing. And so we may choose to pass up firming those cases where we can't get that information. But how do other stop loss carriers handle that? If you look at the stop loss carriers that focus on lower deductibles, so think about MGU type of carriers, think about level funded carriers, even the small group captive space, they're writing smaller deductibles. Many of them could be using some of the new school underwriting tools like a Gradient AI or a Prealize, Verikai, Milliman Curve. These are some of the pretty popular tools that stop loss carriers and underwriters are using. Now, those tools will not help you set a price. They won't help you set a laser. What they will do is help you make a go or no go decision on whether you want to write the group. But it won't help you set that laser or set the pricing. That's something that the stop loss underwriter still has to take responsibility for. So those tools are still pretty new. We see them being utilized more in the down market space. Once you get to bigger deductibles, it gets harder and harder to use those types of tools. But that is the process where when carriers are asked to firm and it's a fully insured group looking to move to self-funding, that's basically how stop loss carriers and MGUs are deciding whether they want to write that group. I'm curious as to what you guys do when you go through the underwriting process. If you'd be so kind, put it in the comments below. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.